This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Here we go. The MVP is soon to be decided. And I'll tell you what, I reckon this could be one of the most value futures markets we've had in a while because Bryce Cotton's still somehow sitting favourite. I love Bryce Cotton. I reckon he's the greatest import we've ever had in this league. But just don't think the Wildcats have done enough for him on the back end of this season for him to be able to win that award, especially piling up with those home losses. The man that I like in this one is Jalen Adams. He was the backbone of that 13-game win streak, and I reckon at 225 he is way overs for the MVP award at the moment. So I'm going with the Kings and Jalen Adams here. Enjoy, and most importantly, gamble responsibly.
There's Wetzel is destroying them. 4-second differential between game and shot clock. Will McDowell White. They've got to get something out. Bessol. Yes! My goodness. A name for the future.
Beautiful to watch. William McDowell White. Early momentum's going to be huge for the away team at home here. Been away from home for a long period of time now. But you've got to take your hat off for the Breakers. Stand and applaud. New Zealand Breakers haven't played at home all season, and yet for pride, they get up off the canvas and rip this one from the fire.
Decides to fire three of his own on the buzzer, gets it done. See the penetrating Jeng fires, and all the bottom of the net for Usman Jeng. 18 now for him, a new career high.
Basson, here we go. Sacre bleu! Love it when he gets cooking. It's fun to watch.
Oh.
It's called. He's got it. Andrew Gaze. Sacre bleu! This man is on fire. Down the barrel. 14 straight for Basson. This is just one of the great shooting displays we've seen all season. The Perth Wildcats are copying the full force of Hugo Basson.
New Zealand hang on in the most remarkable fashion. Wow. What in the world have we witnessed tonight?
My goodness. Well, it's the last day of the Hungry Jacks NBL regular season, and the first of 3 games on the agenda will see the New Zealand Breakers look to finish their campaign in style. Their most recent win was in Adelaide 6 weeks ago, and today they face the 36ers, who are looking to bounce back from the disappointment of the win they let slip on Friday night when they led by 16 points in the final quarter but came up just short against the Phoenix. There's 2 desperate teams, but there will be only one winner as we welcome you to the continuation of round 21 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. Alongside Leonard Copeland and Liam Santamaria, I'm John Casey. Thanks for sharing your Sunday with us here, and we really do stand and applaud what the Breakers have done.
For sure. That's what today's all about, isn't it? The end of the season for these two teams, and a big chance to say thank you to the Breakers. Unprecedented. Play every single game away from home in a whole different country, and they continue to battle out with a whole heap of energy.
Tom Abercrombie has not played a home game since February 2020. More than 2 years. That's how tough it's been. But the silver lining for the Breakers, while their collective hasn't produced what they required, the individual players have been outstanding, including Usman Jeng, who certainly fits very nicely in the Rookie of the Year category.
Well, he's been fantastic. You know, he started off a bit slow, and I was a bit skeptical of him earlier. But, you know, you got to give Dan Shamir a lot of credit because you gave this guy an opportunity. He came out. He started feeling himself. He shoots the ball well. He passes well. He's got the size that the NBA scouts love, and that's why he's going to be a perfect pro in the NBA.
And this was his standout performance, 22, 6 and 6 against Southeast Melbourne in Bendigo. He put the skill set on display in front of the scouts. He had double digits in 9 of his last 12 games, and he's on his way to the NBA draft, as is this guy. One of the other silver linings for the Breakers this season, Hugo Basson, the other element of the French connection, our second leading scorer for the Breakers this season, and he brought it right from opening night. He's a bucket. He has a real knack for scoring the ball, and it was fun to watch him do his thing in the NBL.
It's been tough for New Zealand. They do not have a player who's managed to play every game, but Yanni Wetzel, he certainly has been outstanding as well, and in the most improved player in the competition mix as well.
Most improved, I'd love to have this guy as my center, and I said, how did Southeast Melbourne let him go? But look, he's been great the whole year. He plays well on the box. He shoots it from deep. He passes. He's a willing passer. He's a great teammate. I'd love to have him on my team.
Big day for our Kmart ball kid as well. This is Ryder, and what a little champ he is going to be. Great interaction with the basketball community from Kmart. We thank them for their support as well as we get set to go. My State Bank Arena in Hobart, and New Zealand up against the Adelaide 36ers, and the Breakers win the tip, and they will have first opportunity to open scoring here. And Rob Lowe's ready to go straight away. Couldn't make it work initially.
He's been pretty good the last couple of games, Rob Lowe, getting a lot of time and able to. And we always knew he could play.
Yep.
It's all about his minutes.
Still very capable. McCarron takes it from Johnson. Shot clock rolls to 7 with problems. Well done, Rob Lowe. Disrupted it. Johnson's forced to take a tough shot. Never looked likely. It's a good defensive hustle there from the Breakers as Peyton Seaver brings them back up the floor. Pass McCarron, confronted by Detch. Outside, opening points of the game. Chase on Randall.
Oh, wouldn't it be fun to see a big game from Randall?
And he needs it, don't you think?
To close out the year, he just hasn't brought it since arriving mid-season, and obviously it's a bit of a weird situation to come into. It'd be fun for him to have a big one to close it out.
Johnson from the foul line, caught it a little deep. Considering they left Jeremiah Martin leave for Chase on Randall, and Martin, I thought, probably looked a little bit better on what we've seen, but here's Randall with his opportunity. Feeds Seaver, who's dangerous from deep, but not on this occasion. Detch gets it back from Harris. Now looks for some penetration. Has support there as well. Draws a foul on Seaver, and Sunday Detch will be to the free throw line. DoorDash starting 5 for the New Zealand Breakers. Seaver, Randall, Abercrombie, Delaney and Lowe. It's the 16th different combination they've used. Don't forget, use the code word DASH2LA for your chance to win a trip to go watch the Lakers play, thanks to DoorDash.
The mighty Lakers, huh?
They're gone fishing right now. You mentioned Rob Lowe coming off career high. 27 points their last game. Enjoying some extended run, as you say.
But he's always been a pretty good player, though. I mean, back in the day, he got the job done, and it's just bringing in a guy like Wetzel, your minutes are going to be limited. So good on him for coming in and playing well.
It's not hard to just turn it on. He was able to do it. Being very impressed the way he's finished. This is Seaver feeding the ball. Abercrombie. 90 seconds played. First of a triple header. Seaver hits the ball for Delaney. He fires. Can't make it work. Withers the rebound. Looking to play aggressively as well, and I like that. That's when we see the best of Todd Withers. Wanted Harris. Pass just wasn't on the money, and Seaver did a good job to relieve them of it. Nice work. Fancy footwork from Chase on Randall, and Delaney as well. Wants to take on his fellow Kiwi and Hiram Harris, but he wasn't buying it. Shot clock to 10. Seaver gets rid of McCarron. Nice scoop pass. Lowe adds another 2.
That's special. That's special.
Playmaking. Seaver, pick and roll, picture perfect. Dimes up the big fella.
They clear out for Daniel Johnson. Double team arrives. Detch, McCarron open. Gets a good look. Can't finish it. Rob Lowe grabs his second rebound of the game. Randall finds Delaney, looking to split Harris and McCarron, and foul's going to be called here on the 36ers, and they're starting 5, a familiar lineup in the last bit of the season, thanks to DoorDash. Reminder, DASH2LA is the code word, and why wouldn't you get involved? A chance to see the Lakers play anytime is a good time. Their lineup, well, it's been a mix and match right throughout the season, considering that their starting centre, Isaac Humphrey, such an important player to the group, was only able to play the first 6 games. But Randall, well, he's been quiet of late, but he's saving up for the farewell.
Not of late. He's been quiet the whole year. I think the first game he came in, and I was looking forward to seeing him play the rest of the year, but he's just been really quiet. But let's hope he gets going tonight.
Detch happy to fire the 3, and all the bottom of the net for Sunday Detch, who has all 5 of Adelaide's points.
He's been aggressive, playing really well to close out the year. Detch 20+ in 2 of his last 3. He's getting it up.
Well, this has been enterprising start.
These guys are letting it fly, aren't they?
3 of 6 from long range. They've only taken 1 shot inside the perimeter at the moment. Rob Lowe's got 5. He needs 2 more to crack the 1,000-point mark in his NBL career. Game number 142 today. Johnson takes on Lowe. Too nimble. Nice move. Couldn't get the finish. Delaney. Randall ahead of him. Seaver joining in. Withers giving him something to think about. Randall fires again. This is going to be up-tempo as McCarron picks up the dribble. Withers. Detch. Draws Delaney toward him. Fires unsuccessfully.
These guys are playing carefree basketball because you know what? They know after this game, they get on a plane and they finally get the chance to go home then.
The corner, Seaver fires. Can't finish it. They are getting them up. Here's McCarron. Pass low, confronted by Delaney. Retreats away, now looks for the support, and it's Harris. Inside Detch off the curl cut. Got a good seal down low. Beats chase on Randall. That's 2. So Sunday Detch has scored all 7 of Adelaide's points.
Nice execution, good movement off the ball. It's nice to see him have a strong finish to the year. He's been there all season long. The efficiency, the shooting numbers have been up and down as Rob Lowe misses that one from long range. But he's been one of the guys for the 36ers right throughout the year who's been bringing it night in, night out.
Man, has an appetite for it, doesn't he? He's heading to the New Zealand Basketball League once the NBL season is over for Adelaide. Look to do some damage there. Middle stages of the first quarter, the New Zealand Breakers have taken 11 shots. 10 of them have been threes.
Wow. Oh, you love to play in a game like this, Lynn.
This has got Leonard Copeland's name written all over it. Here's Harris from close range taking them on, drawing a foul, a little bit of push and shove as well. A little bit late in the season for that.
Getting a little wrapped up. Keeping an eye on Finn Delaney, Daniel Johnson. Bottom of your screen. A bit of extracurricular stuff after
Nothing
the
wrong
whistle.
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. As long as they control themselves.
We talk about Sunday Detch. I think it's a mutual option, I think,
Yes.
coming into this offseason. What, you expect to see him back in Adelaide, Case?
I would think so. I think he's a very important component for them and has a very good relationship with the ownership group, Grant Kelly, and the front office. He does a lot of work off the court. He's certainly a player you'd want around any organisation.
What about from his perspective? Do you expect him to opt out of that option, explore free agency, see what's available?
I think if someone came to you, why not?
Yeah.
I think he's very happy in Adelaide. But, of course, things can change. So, fingers crossed, I'm sure every Adelaide 36er fan would love to see Sunday Detch remain with the 36ers. I think his best is still ahead of him. You know what a great defensive player he is, 2-time championship winner already. He's got a lot to bring to the table. Shot clock at 3. Abercrombie off the mark as they continue to spray up the triples. Now McCarron in traffic. Taken 1 shot in the game so far. Harris in the corner. Sunday Detch bounces into Delaney. Nice feed. Kai Soto straight off the bench has an impact.
Nice. And you guys are right about Detch. He's always been known as a defensive player, but for some strange reason he's got that jump shot going. Well, not a strange reason. He's been working on that jump shot and it looks a lot better.
I'm enjoying the impact, late season impact of Kai Soto as well. Here, easy catch, finish above the rim, served up on a silver platter from Sunday Detch, but coming off 16 points against Southeast Melbourne in what, 15, 16 minutes? Had a 21-point game not too long ago. Flashing his talents here with some extra run late in the season.
Hannah's onto the floor as well. Now Soto tracks the double team. Can he find a passing lane? Not initially. Forced into a tough shot. Went back at it. And that's what he brings to the table. He signed a 2-year deal with Adelaide, and I think he'd be best to stay in the NBL for 1 more season before going to the NBA. And what he's done this season really has set a good platform. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 51% from the field in 15 minutes. I think next season, without Isaac Humphries being there, we presume, starting centre alongside it, Daniel Johnson playing extra minutes, I think he can really make a mark.
I think a lot of it depends on his development in the offseason, where he plays, who he plays with. If he can get with a strong team and just a team that gets him the ball and makes him a better player, then certainly he's going to help. He's going to help the Adelaide 36.
Well, he's helping out for everyone here with missing the free throws. The code word is buzzer for Hungry Jacks. Three Hungry Jacks. And Randall down low has been impressive so far in the game. Now the Breakers with the answers so far. And Randall up to 8 points to lead all scorers. And Sunday Detch, though, says, well, I'll add another 2 and I'm up to 9 and I'll take over, thanks. Abercrombie gives it up. Rob Lowe just fires again. So he's 1 of 4 from deep. 12 of the 15 shots from New Zealand from the three-point line. Here's Hannes. Looks for the penetration. And he makes it work and draws a foul in the process. He's so crafty.
He's just coming in having an instant impact. Off the bench late in the year, Hannes. He's averaging about 20 points per game here over his last 3 or 4. Coming in, being aggressive. The sting has kind of come out of the season. The defensive intensity in some of these games that he's coming up against maybe isn't what it was early or midway through the year. And you get the sense it's a little bit more like what he was used to in the G League, putting up big numbers, a bit more of an up and down style, and he's finding his spots.
Less pressure on him, not worried about making the shot. He's just playing.
Detch, the only starter on the floor at the moment for Adelaide. So they take the lead for the first time. 36ers have scored the last 5 points. Randall, touch pass. Outside. Look wouldn't work there for Rasmus Bark. And now Dufelmeyer bring Adelaide forward. 2.5 left in the opening quarter. Dufelmeyer found an opening against Delaney. The whistle on the play, of course, continuation waved away. So free throws to come. New Zealand over the limit of fouls. Delaney picks up the personal.
That's another guy, Finn Delaney, who I'm interested to see how things play out in free agency. He's been, it was all NBL second team last year, of course. Things haven't been anywhere near as good for him this year. He's had 12 games in single-digit scoring numbers and just hasn't had the same kind of impact, but he's coming off contract.
Do you think he'd look somewhere elsewhere?
I mean, I think the prospect of having a regular season, the normal type of season, playing your regular load of home games at Spark Arena. He's a Kiwi kid, loves playing for New Zealand, the Tall Blacks and the Breakers, but I reckon there might be another part of him that feels like exploring a change of scenery.
And there'd certainly be some teams out there that would be interested.
Good athleticism from Mojave King, who goes coast to coast and finishes in style. 8 unanswered points from Adelaide. They've opened up a 5-point lead here. They need to get the ball inside a little more, and they try on that occasion with a penetration. But look at King. This is what he can bring to the table.
In the end, just athletic. He's gotten a lot better as well, and a lot of that is because he's getting a little playing time, but strong dunk.
So inside the last 2 minutes of the opening quarter, Adelaide on an 8-0 run. New Zealand led early by 6, but Hannes has been impressive. This time can't connect. Back the rebound, and now Seaver. Only 3 of their 16 shots have been inside the three-point line at the moment. All the Breakers. Seaver kicks outside. Bark. Good penetration. Now Seaver, who threaded the needle to Timmins, rejected by Withers. Did a great defensive job and did well to save it as well as it was going out of bounds. Dufelmeyer gets it from Soto, goes back to the big man who spins into the paint. Just can't get it to fall, but he's off to the free throw line.
That was nicely done. Both ends of the floor. Todd Withers out of the play, comes from behind, sends Sam Timmins away and collects it, saves it, and then Soto wheeling and dealing his way to the free throw line.
7 fouls on the New Zealand Breakers here in the opening quarter. And to put that into some context for Dan Shamir's team, they have the lowest foul count in a game this season. They had 9 against Tasmania for the game.
Wow.
They've got 7 here.
It's actually 7-1. So I'm figuring you'll see Dan Shamir make a little noise in the next couple of minutes.
He's been a little quiet, hasn't he?
He's been very quiet, but you got to give that guy a lot of credit. Here's a guy who's been on the road for 2 years, and he still brings that energy, Liam. He brings the enthusiasm. Sometimes the teams are down. He gets them going. And I love the fact that he stays on the refs. I mean, you know, he does it with respect, but that's how he shows he's still involved.
More free throws for Adelaide, but they're 6 of 11 from the free throw line. They haven't really capitalised on the edge that they've opened up here. New Zealand hasn't been to the stripe, and missing these free throws, well, you can ill afford it when you need a win after such a could have been a dynamite finish to the season for them with 4 straight wins, beating Perth, beating Sydney, then leading the Phoenix by 16 in the last quarter. You get that done, and then you come here and win again. All of a sudden, things are looking bright for next season for the Adelaide 36ers, so they really do need to finish this in style, and they're doing it at the moment with an 11-0 run. They lead by 8. Inside the last 60 seconds. Seaver. Penetration was good. Pass knocked down by Withers. 4 on the shot clock. The lob pass will give him the benefit of the doubt. And went to Timmins, who couldn't convert. Soto. Dupelmeyer. Baseline Mojave King. Open. Can't connect. The loose ball comes to Abercrombie. So they'll slow it down here. Last play of the opening quarter. Adelaide on an 11-0 run to close out the quarter. Can the Breakers get something happening? Seaver can't. Timmins tried to get it. Partially kept it alive. Bark on the buzzer. Comes up with a triple. Well, that will give them something to work with. They close the gap to 5. At quarter time, it's Adelaide 21, New Zealand 16. Sunday Hoops, the Hungry Jacks NBL. New Zealand Breakers burst out of the blocks and opened up a 6-point advantage inside the first 3 minutes of the contest, but then Adelaide finished strong at the end of the opening quarter, led by 8 at one stage, but a buzzer beater from Bark has got the margin back to 5. And our winner of the $50 Kmart gift card for today is Sienna Tumatha. And she wants to play for the Warriors when she gets a little older, like Steph Curry. She collects basketball cards with her dad. There's a little hooper ready to go when it's her opportunity.
Ready to go.
That's what Rasmus Buck was. At the end of that quarter, they needed that.
100%.
The Breakers. Geez, they let it fly in that first quarter, Copes.
15 threes in a quarter, Liam. Again, this is one of those games I'd love to play in.
The highest number of three-point attempts this season, 45. A couple of teams put that many up. That might be under threat this afternoon.
That's right.
Chance here for McDowell White. He penetrates inside. Crafty player and comes up with his first score in the game. To the other end, McCarron. Tough shot. Couldn't get a reply, and a chance here for the Breakers just to edge a little closer. Seaver to Abercrombie. Bark. Now White out there along with Galloway. They feed the corner. Now White off the money. A chance for Adelaide, who are back to their original 5 to start quarter number 2. Outside, Withers comes up with his first score in the game.
Is that his first shot?
It is indeed.
Wow.
I like the tempo the 36ers have come out and started with to begin this third quarter. That's Mitch McCarron pushing the ball and getting it up the floor. That's where he's at his best.
Down White to Bark. He was quick release, and it was all the bottom of the net for Rasmus Bark. Cuts the margin back to 3. Daniel Johnson. Quiet night for him so far. None of 4 from the field. Harris, had it stolen. Bark said, thank you. I'll have that. Might take him on here. Elects to go solo. Good option. He's up to 8 points in the game. The Breakers are back to within 1.
Wow. I like it. Get after it. He's coming out of contract, Rasmus Bark.
Absolutely.
Hasn't had many opportunities this season. Played well for the Breakers last year.
Exceptionally well.
First year in the league and showing a little bit of what he can do in this last game.
Back to Seaver. Top of the key. Guarded by McCarron. Eludes him. Lob pass after a lot of Galloway there in traffic. Harris puts a stop to it. McCarron exploring past Seaver. Wraparound pass Harris. Hero stepping his way into the paint. And Galloway did a good job to defuse that. Out of court, Adelaide will restart.
Both teams coming out, knocking out shots. This second quarter, Withers, Bark, 1 point game.
McCarron shares it with Withers. Elevates against McDowell White. Same spot, same result. Been worth waiting for. He was patient in the opening quarter, and he's jacked it up twice here and come up with the goods.
Patient isn't the word. If you're an import and you're trying to do a job next year, you got to get that ball up, Liam. I'm just speaking the truth here.
What was more accurate? Quiet? Mate.
Galloway misfires. Sunday Dedge grabs the rebound. Now McCarron gets it. He decides to go to work. It's off the mark. So none of 4 from the field now for Mitch McCarron, including none of 2 from long range. Adelaide by 4. Took over 3 minutes played in the second as Galloway measures the shot. It's off the money. Still happy to fire away from deep here. Both teams. Johnson.
Move.
Double team comes. He takes them on nonetheless. Opens his scoring account. He's off to the free throw line for a bonus.
You're right, Copes. They need to move off the block there. And Sunday Dedge cutting down the middle. Look at that draw. Rob Lowe. A little pass fake to the cutter. Create a little extra space. Bang, right there.
Right there.
And then he scores through the contact.
Daniel Johnson been terrific at the foul line and getting there. Over 125 free throws taken this season and knocked down 100 plus as well at 82%, but can't connect there. So they've had their woes from the stripe, 8 of 14. With 6 points at the line, but they still lead by that number.
Is Daniel Johnson under contract for next year?
He is.
Yep, sure.
Here's Rasmus Bark. Well, the pass, Galloway couldn't handle it. They'll turn it over once more. That's 5 in that category for the Breakers. Adelaide has 3 turnovers. Sunday Dedge exploring. McCarron for Harris. Yet to take a shot in the game, Hiron Harris, but he's going to do it now. It was a tough one, and McCarron was there for the clean-up too.
Daniel Johnson never comes out of contract.
What do you mean?
Well, he's re-signed pretty quickly.
He just signs an extension, before the end of each of his final year.
That's probably the smartest thing an owner or a team can do, because he's valuable, man. I mean,
yeah.
You spoke about Delaney playing at another team. Imagine Daniel Johnson playing somewhere else with you put some real talent around him. Not that they don't have talent. I'm just saying a different look.
Yeah, it's interesting. He has been a superstar. He's been terrific for this franchise. They've been to a couple of grand finals during his time in Adelaide. No titles, of course. He's the all-time leading scorer for active players, of course.
And rebounder.
Oh. I'm interested to see where they go with their recruiting next season. Whether they, look at him as the guy to build around, or to say, you know what, maybe we get some other pieces, high-level import sort of pieces in that front court, and he moves into maybe a slightly less of a focused role.
Well, Nick Marshall stripped of it by Seaver. Uses the body well, but Marshall's recovery was great as he knocks the ball down out of court. And Daniel Johnson turned down bigger money to re-sign his last contract with Adelaide. He had offers much more. But he's loyal to the Adelaide 36ers because they gave him a chance when the Melbourne Tigers let him slip through their fingers. Perth boy originally. But he has been outstanding for the 36ers and continues to be again this season their leading scorer. As Davidson gets the long rebound off the Johnson miss. 4.5 out from the major break. Adelaide on top here by 8 points. Equal game high margin for them. Randall, who started well, has gone off the boil. Marshall gets it from Malou. Lost it to Seaver last time, so he gets it across to McCarron. Isolated against Davidson. McCarron likes his chances here. Got in the air, no passing lane. Rob Lowe put a stop to it. Inside the last 4 minutes of the first half, Seaver getting outside. Delaney wanted the baseline. The pass wasn't where it needed to be. Adelaide stripped them of it. Johnson arriving. He's fouled. And off to the free throw line. They want to count the bucket.
Good kick ahead. Mitch McCarron gains possession, finds Sunday Detch ahead of the floor, and then good run right down the middle cylinder here from Johnson. Well-timed drop-off. It's to the free throw line.
Timeout called. 3:48 left on the clock. Adelaide started this quarter with a 5-point lead. It's now out to 8. And when you look at their season in total, Adelaide, well, the 2 imports in Withers and Dusty Hannahs haven't lived up to expectations. And their 3rd import, technically, was Isaac Humphries, who was, unfortunately, as I mentioned, injured early and managed to play only 6 games. So that's something that they'll look at, obviously, and see where they're heading with that. And let's try and get into the huddle here with Dan Shamir and the New Zealand Breakers.
Charge the foul. Let's go for chest here. If it's not 2 shots, either way, watch the press. We go for chest. Jason, you're going to be on that side. Okay? Pate, you're receiving the screen. Whoever is coming here, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's either you or you, depending on the defense. You're receiving that screen, Peyton, over here. Over here, it's either Isaac or Finn. Let's have Isaac. Okay, you're going to be over here. Okay, so off the stagger. Off that screen, you're going to get Jason off the stagger. Give it a good enough space. Okay, so first screen is low, second screen is elbow area, come off, and have the middle to attack. Okay?
Make it push these last 3 minutes, fellas.
Let's keep them under 40 here, boys. Come on.
Fellas,
High hands, boys. We're getting tips.
strong side helps are there. We have those back cuts. Throw it on the ground. Have those back cuts if you're having strong side help is very, very high. They're choking it. We got the threes. We're open. A little bit earlier, you get a back cut layup. All right, let's go, fellas.
Well, they're trying to avoid finishing the season on a 10-game losing streak. The Breakers. It's going to be their worst win-loss record in franchise history, but of course, as we say, completely unprecedented. Nobody's ever played an entire season on the road before, so it's no surprise to see that.
No,
that
needs
record.
An asterisk next to it, doesn't it? What's happened the last 2 years. I mean, they missed finals this year and last, but prior to that, they missed by percentage the 2 previous seasons. But since making their debut in the NBL in 2004, it's their 19th year, 4-time champions, runners-up once. They've made 3 other finals, so 8 of 19 in the finals.
The floor stands on peak 15, 2 shots.
So it was a challenge from Dan Shamir. And the foul stands, and it's a 3rd personal now on Rob Lowe.
You go back to that one of those seasons you were referring to, Case, where they only just missed the playoffs on percentage. Dan Shamir's first season with the Breakers, they were the hottest team in the league.
Yeah.
Running towards the playoffs. Scotty Hobson was trying to put his hand up for MVP, and he had that team after dealing with some injuries to key guys earlier in that season. He had them rolling.
Yes, he did.
Late in that year, and had they been able to eke their way in, had that Brisbane-Cairns game not gone how it did in that final round, they could have done some damage in that playoff. So here's hoping brighter things ahead for the Breakers next season.
Firing quickly here, it's Davidson. He's off the mark. Manny Malou gets the rebound for Adelaide, so they continue to throw up the threes. 22 of their 33 shots from deep for the Breakers. And 1 of 7 since quarter time from long range. Marshall puts it on the deck against Davidson athletically, and off the window opens his scoring account.
Case, you spoke about Isaac Humphries. If he's healthy, I'm making it a priority to try to sign him, because before he got hurt, him and Daniel Johnson were the best 4-5 combination in the league. They played great basketball together. So rather than chase someone who you don't know is going to fit, you know that that combination works.
Well, because just listening to your tone and turn of phrase earlier, did you feel like maybe it's in doubt whether he's a priority for the 36ers in the off-season?
I don't think there's any doubt about that. He would be a priority.
Okay.
I just don't know if the 2 parties are going to be able to come together in terms of finding a deal that suits both. That's my interpretation at this stage, and I don't know anything along those lines. But just given the history where he's had 2 seasons now where he's looked all-world and MVP candidate early last season, his best is certainly NBA. He's been there. And, his ideals of representing Australia at the Olympics coming up as well. But I think given his history, injury problems, he can't train a lot. He is, I guess, in some ways, you are taking a little bit of a risk on that. And I think that I just don't know they're going to be able to find common ground. I'd certainly like to see him play for Adelaide, because you're right, Copes. He and Daniel Johnson together. Oh, look at that for a finish. Speaking of high quality, Finn Delaney getting it done.
He was looking for the foul, wasn't he?
He probably deserved it. Great finish from him. So the Breakers, back-to-back buckets, close to 8. Seaver exploring. Soft wouldn't work. How about Sam
Wake up
Timmins?
if you're going to sleep. Here we go, big boy. A grown man dunk.
Take some of that. 6 unanswered points here from New Zealand.
Got to see that again, don't we?
Well, that was nice. Highlight reel stuff from Sam Timmins. Well timed with the putback.
I'm a fan of his. Limited minutes this season for the New Zealand Breakers, just averaging 8 minutes a game, but when he gets it, he can find the target. And he's certainly got some aggressive work close to the basket.
And the size, and the size.
Yeah. Dusty Hannes adds to his tally. Adelaide up 8 inside the last 2 minutes of the first half. Delaney going to work once more. Nice pass. And finishing touches again from Timmins.
Beautifully set up, Delaney. Nice to see an aggressive Finn Delaney, putting it on the deck, getting to the rim, making reads and making plays.
Speaking of being aggressive, Soto, but relieved of it. Active hands there from Seaver. Stripped him of it. Now shares it with Delaney. Lob pass. I want Timmins involved once more. And he was rejected by Kai Soto. Getting some of his own medicine. Hannes against Chason Randall. To the elbow. Firing away and coming up with a finish. Wow. He is a shot maker. He makes tough shots. Remember the shot he made against Melbourne United to force overtime. And speaking of tough shots, here's Delaney once more.
And that's the Delaney you spoke about a couple of years ago. When he's aggressive, you know he can put the ball to the deck. He can shoot the three. He's strong on the glass. And he'll bang.
Well, I just like when he's involved in the ball screen action and this early stuff in their offense on a regular basis. That was him a lot last season. Colton Iverson, yes, setting a lot of those picks, but a lot of high pick and roll, Finn Delaney, short rolls. Teams were trying to have to solve the problem of Delaney in those moments. This year, that's been really all Yanni Wetzel. And he has cashed in and made the most. And well done to him. He's doing it in Baskonia in Spain right now. But Delaney, when he gets the opportunity to play those positions, can get some things done.
Foul going to be called on Delaney here. It's going to be his second personal. And Adelaide's 12-point lead has been whittled down to 5. Nice fight back. We saw Adelaide fight back at the end of the first quarter. And it's New Zealand returning the favour here as we head toward half-time. Marshall to restart. So no starters on the floor at the moment for Adelaide. Soto has lost control of it here, and a chance for Chase on Randall against Hannahs. Game forced into a tough shot. Timmins, the trailer, couldn't get it done. This is Gatorna, who can make things happen in a hurry. Nice pass. Hannahs did a good job, adds another 2. So he's got 9 in the game, margin out to 7. Timeout called here. 17 seconds left on the clock as Adelaide get out and run. They've used all 12 players here in the first half, Adelaide. 10 of them have scored. Only Manny Malou and Zach Gatorna are yet to hit the score sheet. In contrast, the Breakers 6 scorers so far in the game.
Don't over dribble the ball, right? Not through little gaps. We don't do that. We don't cough the ball up and give them a chance to hang around. So execute. We don't get. Let's focus on the defense right now. Defensively, you guys are busting over screens initially once it comes in, and then it's a hustle, right? We're taking away the 3 ball. You're in the mush, fake and fade. Start up with your man. It's Timmins, you back up, and then it's stab. If the lob comes, you go back to it. Don't jump in the air on the first attempt. Make sure we box out. The shot goes up, we box out.
Still next.
Good, next.
6 on 3, 1, 2, 3. 6.
Wrap hustle, wrap hustle.
We talked about Dan Shamir earlier. I like the way the Bullets, the 36ers are closing out this year under CJ Bruton. Been coaching the heck out of him down the stretch of this season. I like the fact they haven't just let this season dwindle away once the playoff picture was out. And they went over to Perth, beat the Wildcats, went to Sydney, snapped that 13-game winning streak. Geez, they were doing really well against Southeast Melbourne, and they've come out with some good energy in this one.
It's a good point you make, Liam, because last season they lost their last 7 games of the season when it all fell apart. Cal White beats the corner. Davidson ready to go, off the mark. And that is all for the first half. So the Adelaide 36ers have opened up a 7-point lead. I think CJ Bruton letting one fly there as well. Back to the glory days of when he was starring.
He would let it go too.
He would.
Yes, sir.
He was great at it. So halftime, Adelaide on top by 7. And Sunday Detch was the player who set it up for them in the opening quarter with 9 points. But as I mentioned, they've been sharing the load here. All 12 players on the floor, 10 scorers, 7-point lead. And we'll get some reaction in just a moment because Sunday Detch is going to join us courtside, and I think he's ready to go now. And Sunday, John Casey here. Congrats on a great first half here so far, but still some work to do. You found that out on Friday night when you made a lot of the running against the Phoenix, couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think it's been the story of our season, right? You know, closing out games. So we're going to go on a half court, figure a way to stop there. You know, lobs over the top and wide open threes.
Sunday, Liam Santa Maria here. We've spoken a little bit about today being a chance to say thank you to the Breakers. So what are your thoughts on them this year?
Look, they've done a phenomenal job, you know, not only this year but last year, just to be away from home, away from friends and family. Look, it must be tough. I have no idea what they're going through, but yeah, definitely commend them.
Sunday, Leonard Copeland here. Look, we've all known you as a defensive player, but it seems like you're focusing more on your offense now. Is that something that CJ's asked you to do?
Yeah, for sure. Look, we put a lot of work in behind the scenes, and I think it's coming to fruition. Obviously, we want to play finals basketball, but you got to take the positives out of the year, and, he's given myself and the guys on the team a chance to shine.
Appreciate your time here at halftime Sunday. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, fellas.
Sunday Detch from the Adelaide 36ers, who enjoy a 7-point lead at the major break as they chase down win number 10 on the season. We've got a whole lot more coming at you. Right after this, the Hungry Jacks NBL continues. Well, after the New Zealand Breakers burst out of the blocks and opened up a 6-point lead in the opening quarter, it's been largely the Adelaide 36ers ever since then, led by as many as 8 in the first quarter, got it out to 12 during the second, and settled for a 7-point edge here at halftime. 41-34 is the equation. They're doing it by committee, 10 scorers as opposed to 6, and they've just been able to find more effective avenues at the offensive end.
Yeah, no super standout performer individually in the first half. Nobody in double figures on either team. Everybody getting a little piece of the action. Finn Delaney had a couple of moments for the Breakers. Sam Timmins had a very nice moment right there above the rim. Dusty Hannah's a little bit of production off the bench for Adelaide. But it really was that 11-zip run that they went on late in that first quarter that has proved the difference thus far. There you see the leading scorers, Detch and Hannah's with 9, Randall and Buck with 8 apiece for the Breakers. But just a 5-minute stretch there, Copes, that separated these two teams.
It was, and when the game started, I thought it was going to be a 3-point fest. The guys coming out, they took 15 threes in the first quarter and continued to shoot the threes. They're not shooting a great percentage, But I think it's a guard game because all the scorers are guards, you know what I mean? So I just feel like whoever comes out and plays a little bit of defense, this second half will get the win.
Well, Todd Withers turned it on in the second quarter. At the moment, he's been able to pump his numbers up, 6 points and 6 boards. And as you say, Copes, when it's your last game for a team, you want to finish in style. You want to let others know that what you can do.
Absolutely. And look, I like Withers. I know he can play. We know he can shoot it, but he's not aggressive enough. As an import, and I'm speaking as imports, you want to be able to lead a team. You want a team to be able to depend on you. And he goes through a whole game without, I mean, yes, he gives it all, but he's not scoring, he's not rebounding, and sometimes that hurts you.
Adelaide do have turnover problems. They can be that way prone. They had 6 turnovers in the second. They really need to tighten that up because they do not want to go down the same path they did on Friday night when they gave up a big lead to the Phoenix.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I want to finish the season in a positive note, get this win, and then say, hey, we got a bunch of wins to close out the year. I'd like to see the 36ers, Mitch McCarron, the start of this third quarter, just assert his authority on this game, get out in transition, get aggressive towards the rim, and get on the front foot.
Well, it's quiet there at the moment without a crowd at My Stake Bank Arena, but was it happening there last night when the Tasmania Jack Jumpers handed Melbourne United their heaviest defeat of the season by 22 points, restricted them to their lowest score, 61, and the Tassie Jack Jumpers are in the 4 as we speak.
They are in the 4, and they played like they wanted to make the finals, Liam. Now, I was a little bit disappointed in the way Melbourne came out. Some of the guys didn't look like they wanted to be there, and that's not Dean Bickerman's team. The Jack Jumpers, on the other hand, wanted to win this game. They know they give themselves a chance of making the finals for their first year.
Yeah, one team had everything to play for. Yeah. The other had already locked in top spot, and that kind of came home to roost. But hats off to the Jack Jumpers. Right now, they're in the finals. Let's see what happens later this afternoon.
And I say hats off to the Perth Wildcats as well for everything that they've been through, looking to make it 36 years in a row in the playoffs. They have to beat the Phoenix later today. Of course, they lost to Illawarra by 5 on Friday night. It was 77-82. And I think people in Perth do not want to get this misconstrued. It's not anti-Perth sentiment today. It is pro-Tasmania sentiment. I think the Jack Jumpers are their second favourite team.
Well, I'm a little torn. I love what the Jack Jumpers have done. It would be great to see them in the finals, but I love the streak as well. Yep. 35 years, they've been a dominant force. So however the cards fall, that'll be as it may this afternoon. But there you see the ladder. Perth versus South East Melbourne, the final game of the season. And the equation is simple for the Wildcats. Win and you're in. Losing, you're out.
And just prior to that, we're going to see Sydney and Illawarra go head-to-head as well to decide second spot.
And the last time these teams played, it was fireworks land. It was one of the best games of the season. I'm sitting at home with my popcorn going, is this the NBA or the NBL? It was that style of game, and we hope we get that game again.
We sure do. But we've got a second half here between New Zealand and Adelaide to conquer first. Adelaide by 7. It's 41-34. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. State Bank Arena in Hobart is where you find the New Zealand Breakers and Adelaide 36ers. Half-time here, Adelaide on top by 7. Breakers with the possession arrow. And they started the game well with Chase on Randall getting busy, knocking down the first 3 of the game. But he has not added to his quarter-time tally of 8.
Was championship teammates Tom Abercrombie and CJ Bruton having a bit of a chat in the background.
CJ was in New Zealand. He won the championship, didn't he? Yeah, that's right.
Just resetting the clock here at the moment. Mitch McCarron, Chase on Randall there.
Man, you spoke about McCarron, and I've been an advocate. I know McCarron. I love McCarron. I love what he brings to the table. He is a solid player. But I know also he can score, and sometimes he just does not look at that basket. And on a team like this, he probably needs to get going. And yes, he will get other players going, but man, when you can shoot the 3 the way he shoots it and get to the basket the way he does, you probably need to take advantage of it.
I agree, Coach. I mean, he's played 119 games in the NBA for 5 teams. He played 41 games for Orlando last year. 41 games. Here he is on cue, going to work. Couldn't get it to finish, though. And a chance for Adelaide to expand on this 7-point buffer. The biggest lead we've seen in the game is 12 for Adelaide. 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Adelaide back to their original starting 5. And likewise, New Zealand going with their first 5 as well. McCarron's off the mark.
The 3-point attempts have been there tonight. That's his 3rd. He's been, looking at those shots when the defense slips under Mitch McCarron. I want him to put heat on the rim in transition.
He's good enough to do it too.
Explore, get 2 feet in the paint, put some heat on the rim a little bit. Rip it off the defensive glass and push. That's when Mitch McCarron is at his explosive best, and hasn't been there quite enough this season. And in the half court, he's been a bit of a reversal guy. Get the ball moving, get everyone else involved, and maybe get a touch late in the shot clock. They're at their best, Adelaide, when Mitch McCarron's putting heat on the rim.
Aggressive rather than passive. I agree. Here's Sunday Detch. That's a tough shot over the top of Peyton Seaver. His first score since quarter time. He's into double figures, the first player in the game to do so. Delaney working on Harris. Got him looking the wrong way, but couldn't complete it. Chance for Adelaide to move this lead back into double figures as Johnson looks for Detch. Seaver right there with him. Rob Lowe out there playing with 3 fouls. Has to be careful here against Daniel Johnson. Played good D and talked Johnson out of the 2. They need to find some offense. Almost 2 minutes played in this period. The Breakers still looking for their first score.
Great defense by Withers.
I think his defense has actually been better than his offense, Todd Withers, this year. Averaging 8 points a game. And has really cooled off in terms of his 3-point shooting. He's only hit the 34 threes in 24 games. But his defense has been solid. Randall. Well, the pass is a poor one behind Delaney, picked off by Detch. Harris in support. Sunday doesn't need any help at the moment. He adds another 2, takes his tally to 13, and the margin is into double figures and maybe about to grow a little more as the restart was not what the Breakers needed. And Withers pulls off the 3. Timeout New Zealand as Adelaide crashed 9 straight points to start the 3rd quarter and open up a game-high 14-point lead.
Yeah, that's what the doctor ordered for the 36ers to begin this 3rd quarter. Getting after it, they force the turnover, Detch finishes, and Harris up in the lane, and no hesitation from Todd Withers on the arc. 3 of 3 from long range.
But we need more of that, Liam, don't you think? I need him to shoot the ball a little bit more. I'm sorry.
We can always get out to our guys, but the effort to bust over screens has been great. Keep being patient on the offensive end, keep setting screens. Keep the spacing well. We're in first play. We're in wide razor. First play. Second play is wide snap. Snap. And DJ on the snap. DJ's going to ghost out, drive it. You've got the kick out 3, or it's this guy here to the DHO. Pitch it, DJ. Raise it and snap.
6, 3, 1, 2, 3.
He's busting over.
That wide series of plays straight out of the Andre Lamanis Brisbane Bullets playbook. Of course, CJ spending all that time with Lamanis in Brisbane, learning the trade and the coaching game. He's brought a lot of those plays into the mix with the 36ers this season.
Breakers none of 5 from the field since half-time. 2.5 minutes played, yet to add to that 34-point tally. On track for their lowest score of the season unless they can find some offense. Shot clock rolls to 7. Randall, who was good early, short on the rim. Johnson the rebound. Karen slows it down, guarded by Delaney. Harris against Randall. Threads the needle, finds Dedge. Up a quick shot. Abercrombie the rebound. Delaney. Randall steps inside Harris, tried to use the body, and foul's going to be called on Hiram Harris. Free throws to come. And part of the problem here for the New Zealand Breakers is that 2 of their starters in Peyton Sievert and Tom Abercrombie haven't scored, and Rob Lowe hasn't scored since quarter time, 3rd member of that starting group.
Hannes just checked in, Liam. I got a question for you.
Talk to me.
Probably won't sign with Adelaide next year, but do you think there's any teams interested in him and his services?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Not in the NBL. No, I think, everyone's been able to see this season that, he could score, as Case said before. He's a tough shot maker, Dusty Hannes, but I'm not sure his game has really suited the sort of FIBA style this year. The more congested court, the physicality that we see from defensive teams in our league. I suspect he'll be back in the G League. G League Dusty again next season, putting points on the board.
Shot clock violation called on the 36ers for the first time in the game. Sievert just losing his balance, needs help now, provided by Lowe. And Abercrombie. There's none of 4 from the field, Tom Abercrombie. None of 3 from deep. He's overdue. Low fires. And this short on the rim as Withers snatches the rebound. It might put his head down here. Takes on Chase on Randall. And gave him some chin music as well.
You okay, bro?
Randall picks up the foul. And Todd Withers just checking to make sure he's okay.
I'll tell you, I reckon you'd win a challenge there if you were Dan Shamir.
Well, he's unfortunately burnt that challenge in the previous quarter.
Early.
He did much wrong, and he just copped a bow to the face as Withers stepped around him.
And as I mentioned, 70% of the calls that have been challenged have been proven to be right. But I'm sure the coaches would tell you 100% of the time when they burn a challenge, something happens later in the game that they'd like to challenge. But just on Dusty Hannes as well, look, he's been in the 20s 6 times in the games that he's played here. He's averaging 13 a game. He's been terrific, maybe the best free throw shooter in the competition at 95%, but he's only hit 17 threes at 27% in 22 games. And that wasn't as he was advertised coming in as the best three-point shooter in the world outside the NBA. But how about the D there from Kai Soto?
Yeah, his reputation was all about the three-point shot, wasn't it?
And he seemed reluctant to shoot it, even at the start. We saw glimpses during the blitz when he turned it on. And had 13 in a quarter. How about the quick hands from Chase on Randall there as well? But Dusty Hannes had 13 in a quarter against Perth and 19 for the game in that last quarter. And he had a little bit to say as well.
He sure did.
He gave the Wildcats plenty. And let's not forget Adelaide. Well, they went through the blitz undefeated, 5 games, won the trophy.
He could play. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. It's just some guys' games suit certain leagues. Todd Withers is lighting it up this afternoon. Boy, oh boy, he's got 14 now, 4 of 4 from long range. But, you look at a guy like Dengadell, for example. Killed it in the G League. Yeah. More space to operate, the wider court. Jason Randall's going to go to the free throw line. And maybe the defensive intensity isn't quite at the same level and a little bit more of an up and down style. He played his way into NBA opportunities through what he did in the G League. Came to the NBL, it just didn't work out. His game didn't really transition. I feel the same thing with Dusty Hannahs. I feel like on the arc there, just didn't have as much space or as much time to operate as he's used to in the G League.
Yep.
And
it was identified very early in the season by the great man Andrew Gaze as well, who saw Dusty in the blitz and said, I don't know whether his shooting action, the low shooting action, if he's going to be able to get off the shots with the time that he needs in this league. I think that's proven to fruition. And that's why he's been reluctant to shoot the ball, because his shooting action, it's when you've got someone in your face, if you've got a low starting point, well, it's hard to get into your rhythm to get the shot happening, and that's why he's been forced to find other avenues. And credit to him, he's adjusted his game, and his interior, his penetration, his floaters, his craftiness around the basket. He's shown the quality there. I mean, he has played in the NBA, but it was identified early that he may have some shortcomings in this style of game, and I think that's been proven. Shot clock at 10 here for Adelaide. They opened up 15-point lead.
I think it was Dusty in a post-game press conference recently, in the last month or so, said, you know what, my father always told me, well, one game doesn't make a season, one season doesn't make a career. So, and he's bang on, and I've got no doubt. Yeah, if we do see him, say, in the G League next season, he'll be back, putting up big numbers, getting buckets in that league.
Was this his first job overseas?
He played in Europe. He did have seasons in Europe as well. Played, of course, in the NBA with Memphis. And in the G League, well, he averaged 20 a game. 23, in fact, back in 2020. And was all third team there in the G League, so that suited his style. But it's Adelaide by 13 here. New Zealand with 4 unanswered points. Soto, low, just firing over the top. That's where you'd like to see Kai Soto challenge the big man Rob Lowe. He's playing with 3 fouls. Don't fire over the top. Let's see what you can come up with a little closer. Well done Withers, just backing into Delaney there, who's going to be called for his 3rd personal.
14 points, 7 boards, a couple of blocks, a dime and a steal for Todd Withers thus far in 16 minutes of action.
And that's what I mean. We know he can play. I mean, you know, with the recruiting going on these days, it's not like back in the day when you saw a tape and brought him over. These guys are playing. You're on the internet. You know, there's games. There's scouts going to watch them play, so you know they can play. A lot of that depends on who you're playing with, what kind of coach you got. You know, it's a different game. And the NBL is a very tough league.
Al White just lost the handle under pressure. Good work there from Tad Dufelmeyer. Well, you mentioned that. 14 points on 4 of 4 shooting. With his high score for the season is 17. It came in the overtime win against Melbourne back in round 9. And for an import, a scoring import, season high of 17, you're probably expecting it's going to be above that. He started well. He had double-figure rebounds in his first 2 games and led the game in one against Illawarra with 13. Certainly got some tools. And how about the finish there from Tad Dufelmeyer? First field goal of the game for him. As Randall takes it from Abercrombie. Guarded by Hannahs. Good screen from Lowe. Dufelmeyer grabs the rebound, and now he's pushing the tempo. Reaching to McDowell White, wasn't buying it. Soto to beat. He tried to get the pass back, I think. And unfortunately, it didn't work for him. 11 turnovers now for the New Zealand Breakers, including 5 here in the 3rd quarter. They had 6 at half-time.
The big fella was stalking him there. Ready to send that packing.
Tick over 3 minutes out from 3-quarter time. Adelaide by 15. Adelaide's biggest win of the season. They beat Cairns by 26 back in round 16. The highest score right on the 100 mark against the Phoenix as Soto turns around, adds to the tally. Just 6 points for the New Zealand Breakers here in this 3rd quarter so far. We know they can put points on the board very quickly. They had 35 in a quarter. The final quarter in round 19 in Bendigo. So don't write them off just yet, but they're going to have to find something as Hannahs pulls up in rhythm, drills the triple. 20-point lead now for the Adelaide 36ers.
Very nice. That's Hannahs in transition. Good kick ahead. Sunday Detch, and he was hunting the three-point line the moment he crossed half court.
Spark, step back, nothing on offer. Low, and Soto. Shot clock to 5. Low comes up with the finishing touches and now does have 1,000 points in the NBL in game number 142. Congratulations to him for the milestone. Hannahs firing again, this time off the mark. Well done, Dufermeyer, kept it alive, and it came back down low where Sunday Detch was lurking with intent. He adds another 2.
CJ's still involved.
Yeah, it was Dufermeyer with the kick ahead. Good find in transition as Dusty knocked that down. Here's CJ Boot. We talk about him coaching his socks off late in this season, riding Dusty Hannahs, Mojave King, trying to help these guys at the defensive end.
And he's on everyone. You know, he's not like he's picking on anyone. If you miss an assignment, he's on you, and that's the way you got to coach.
Soto again, something for the long-range attempt against Rob Lowe. Delaney, Ashma Spark, penetration, confronted by King and Soto in tandem. Comes to Sunday Detch. Hannahs ahead of him. Joining in Soto, puts it on the deck. We marched over the top there of Peyton Seaver, like an offensive foul.
Well, that was good dig from Seaver. Saw that coming from a mile away. As Soto was coming down that middle lane, that's a big unit. Bearing down on top of you. He didn't flinch.
218 centimetres, over 100 kilos. Still only 19 years of age as well, Kai Soto. Seaver, he fires. Hasn't been his night. None of 8 from the field, including none of 4 from deep now for Peyton Seaver, who came in.
He struggled, hasn't he?
Averaging 12 points a game. His Hannahs. Soft touch eludes him. Delaney the rebound. So just 8 points in this quarter for the New Zealand Breakers. And they're slowing it down with the shot clock inside the game clock. And Delaney went without it.
He left something, didn't he?
Sunday Detch with it. King, Dufermeyer. And then they can slow it down. They spread the floor. Delaney's picked up the foul. 4th team foul on the Breakers. They had one to give, but that's 4 on Delaney now. I think that's going to thrill the coach.
A lot of these guys will go back and play in the New Zealand League, right, man?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sam Timmins, MVP of that league last season. Even for Adelaide, Mojave King's going to be in that mix.
And Detch. There's Dufermeyer firing and coming up with a 2 on the buzzer to extend the margin. New Zealand restricted to their lowest three-quarter time score of the season, and Adelaide enjoy a 22-point lead. It's 64-42 from My State Bank Arena in Hobart as the Hungry Jacks NBL continues. NBL36ers chasing a 10th win of the season. Had their way with the Breakers in the third quarter, outscoring them 23-8 to open up a 22-point lead here with 1 quarter to play. Withers has been good at both ends of the floor, 14 and 7 rebounds for him.
He certainly has, and we spoke about him. You know, he probably waited have a season too late to play like this. He needed to be aggressive the whole year, and he certainly has the ability to score and play defense and rebound well. But as an import, you got to do that every night, and he probably hasn't done what he should have been doing.
Meanwhile, let's see if the Breakers can put some points on the board. 8 points in that third quarter, lowest three-quarter time score for the season for the Breakers, 42. And Buck misses there. Galloway gets sent away. They haven't reached the 20-point plateau in any quarter so far.
If I can offer some optimism for our Breakers fans who are watching, Adelaide, the only team in the NBL this year to give up a double-figure lead at three-quarter time and lose.
Wasn't too long ago.
It's burned into my memory from Friday night. And they extend the margin here a little further as well. So a minute played, and Adelaide now out to 27-point lead. Things just not happening for Peyton Seaver.
He's had a stinker, isn't he? 0 for 9 from the field.
So Adelaide with it well and truly on their terms here. King penetrating. Nice work. Oh, went to throw it down with a non-preferred left. Just didn't have enough height to get it done. Hannes, he gets down low, was bumped, and is off to the free throw line to keep improving on the numbers, and they are impressive numbers from the stripe from this man, Dusty Hannes.
Automatic. Here he is, drawing the foul, and CJ Bruton giving a bunch of guys some run in this second half who maybe haven't had a whole heap of court time. Kai Soto's playing big minutes. Mojave King's playing big minutes, getting some opportunity to finish the season on a high.
Oh, rare miss there for Dusty Hannes.
Thanks to you two guys.
He was 58 of 61 on the season prior to missing the back end there. I think it's too concerning for him, though, when your team's up 28. If you're going to miss a free throw, probably a good time to do it. And in the corner, Rasmus Park knocks down another three. He's got 3 of New Zealand's 6 triples and 11 points in the game.
He's been tough off the bench, hasn't he?
And Dusty's in a bad way. The back there, he's struggling to get over half court.
Dufelmeyer look away for Mojave King, who elevates against Galloway and makes it work off glass. 9 points in the game now for Mojave King, closing in on his season high. Now that's Seaver alone. He figures he's overdue, and he certainly was, having missed 9 consecutive attempts. And now he's on the scoreboard. Outside, King once more, this time off the mark. Sunday Ditch the rebound. It's Rasmus Bark, turns baseline, draws a foul off to the free throw line.
Well, that's the triple in the corner. Dusty Hannes hurt himself. Just got a crick in the neck. And then Peyton Seaver, he was 0 for Sunday before that one. Stepped up and knocked it down.
Hold the ball after you made basket.
I did not allow that.
Okay, so who do you want me to talk to? Should I talk to you? I'm talking to you. Yeah, it's not allowed. You can tell me it's our mistake.
I will get an answer and I'll get back.
What is the answer? What answer is there to get? Okay, they take the ball after I made basket. They hold the ball. Okay, and you tell me you're going to get an answer. You can say our mistake. Okay.
I'm not saying it was a mistake because I wasn't there, Dan. Right, I'll get an answer and I'll get back to you.
Okay. I'm waiting for the answer.
Okay.
Okay. Game is still going, huh? We still have 7 minutes.
He is very, he's into the game, isn't he?
Chance now for the Breakers from close range. Finishing touches from Timmins, who's up to 6 in the game. Twice his season average. Getting a little more burn here in this final game, so we've got less than 7 minutes left. Nick Marshall with it. Detch inside. Kaisoto fires over McDowell White. Timmins grabs the rebound. Number 6 for him in that category. Seaver now with the penetration. Went on with it. Tough shot. Hims tried to keep it alive. Duffelmeyer. Marshall to his left. Detch to his right. Good option from three-point land. He fills it up. 19 now for Sunday Detch. And they continue to hold the New Zealand Breakers at arm's length here. Better scoring quarter for the Breakers. They've got 8 already after they managed only 8 for the entire third term. Mojave King streaks up the floor, adds to his tally. So he's now got 11, a new season high for Mojave King. Timeout called, 6:11 left on the clock here. It's Adelaide 78, New Zealand 50.
CJ Bruton there having a chat with Kai Soto at the top of that huddle. There was a little bit of frustration from Soto a few plays ago. Communicating on the floor back to his head coach, who's trying to help him. But meanwhile, the 36ers rocking and rolling. Detch from long range, got 19 points. Out. Duffelmeyer in transition, pushing the tempo. Nice start to the fourth quarter for Adelaide. Bruton and Soto continue to work things out.
And you certainly have to feel better about, CJ feel better about his team in the last 4 games, even though they lost one on Friday that they probably shouldn't have lost.
They're picking up the pieces here. New Zealand Breakers looking for their 6th win of the season, have got their hands full. We've spoken about the fact that the New Zealand Breakers are on a 9-game losing streak. 2 of those were in overtime. The other 7 were 10 points or less. It's not like they are the 9-game, the number 9, probably not reflective of how competitive that they have been. But that's the number that's next to the line, and it looks like it's going to get into double figures here.
Well, they've been competitive in every game, and that's why you got to take your head off to them. With all the stuff going on, them being on the road for 2 years, and didn't come out and play hard every game.
Nick Marshall with the ball carrying duties for Adelaide at the moment. So Gatorna, the only player out there for Adelaide yet to score in the game. Manny Malou also hasn't scored but sits for the moment. Here's Soto close to the rim, and he doesn't need to elevate too far to have a hand up and throw it down.
He's a big boy, isn't he? He's a big boy. And that's what you're supposed to do when you get that ball down low. Take it up strong.
Dow White feeds Bark, who's being busy online. This time it's short though. And Gatorna. Great game against Sydney last weekend. Zach Gatorna finishing with a career high 10 points. Was influential, but King's been influential in this game as he scoops up another 2. So 13 now for Mojave King.
What's the latest on Mojave, Liam?
He's going to play, NZNBL. Is it Otago? Something with, he's going to play over in the NZNBL. And isn't it fun to see him playing with some confidence here? Finish the season, Bark, catch and splash in the corner.
No word on the NBA. I mean, Summer League, nothing?
Well, that certainly was the plan coming into his next Stars contract to begin with in Cairns. The start of this season with Adelaide. Soto from long range. 2nd straight game. He's drilled one from 3-point territory.
Game high 29-point lead now for the Adelaide 36ers. Tick over 4 minutes left on the clock. And they've had an impressive finish to the season. Wins in Perth, wins in Sydney. Near miss in Melbourne on Friday night. And now win against the New Zealand Breakers, who beat them the last time they played at the Adelaide 36ers arena. Probably should have beaten the first time they played in Adelaide as well. They gave up a massive lead. Now Spark has stayed down here, just got one high. Let's hope he's okay. Last thing you need inside the final 4 minutes of the season is to see someone just off the court and looking a little second hand.
Yeah, good. Here you go.
Oh, he just ran straight into Soto. Seaver got it back from Rob Lowe. Caught it deep. Gatorna the rebound. So Adelaide running out the game here with 5 bench players at the moment. Gatorna hands over to Manny Malou. He's shown glimpses as well during the season. Shot the ball very well. This is King, who's been busy, picks up the dribble. Gatorna gets a good look, can't convert. And Rob Lowe puts a stop to it. Delaney in the corner. Just on Randall. Floater, all the bottom of the net for Randall. 14 in the game now. He had 8 of those in the opening quarter. 7-point margin. Duffelmeyer. Marshall. Caught it. Went quickly. Unsuccessfully. Good hustle. Well done there by Gatorna to keep that alive. Here's Manny Malou. Couldn't find a way past Rob Lowe. Duffelmeyer. Gatorna. Isolated. Against McDowell-White.
Oh.
And Gatorna just slipping it over a chair there. Hit the deck hard. McDowell-White picks up the foul.
There's Rasmus Bach still getting himself right. Looks like he's okay.
He's played well today. 14 points, 5 for 10 from the field.
Well, that was the Rasmus Bach from last season. Just hasn't, and not the opportunities. Here's Duffelmeyer exploring and adding to his tally. He's 3 of 3 from the field, Tad Duffelmeyer, up to 7 points. Had just 1 at half time. Seaver, Delaney, McDowell-White. Delaney with 4 fouls. Mismatch here with Duffelmeyer. Might like his chances. King read it well. Came with a double team. He's got support with Gatorna. He just goes solo and adds to his tally.
That's the second dunk. Coast to coast. He's an athlete, man. He's an athlete.
No, I mentioned NZNBL. It's going to be with Southland, the Southland Sharks. And he's hoping he has a big year, big season over there. Grows in some confidence and builds back up from there. Here is King in transition, crosses up, mid-court, throws it down.
And having seen Mojave King at training on a regular basis this season, some of the things that you see him doing at training, if he can translate that into game time, well, he is set for a bright future. Just hasn't been able to bring it enough, but go to the 36ers training and watch him cut loose.
Put on a show, huh, Liv?
It is a very pretty sight. A little over a minute out from the decision here. Delaney working on Duffelmeyer once more. Low. Position well. Well done, Malou. Tapped it to the advantage of King. Randall to beat. Seaver ahead of him as well. So share it with Manny Malou. Marshall, Gatorna, and now Duffelmeyer. Shot clock to 9 inside the last minute of the game. Malou fires the 3 ball. It's off the mark. Now Seaver lobs it down low for Lowe against Malou. An edge in height. Nice move. He's got a bag of tricks. Rob Lowe adds another 2. So he's got 9 in the game to go with 10 boards. But it's a 31-point lead in favour of Adelaide. Chance for them to expand that. Marshall ambitious, couldn't get it to go. Tad Duffelmeyer, right place, right time, adds to his tally. Up to 93. Remembering Adelaide, when these teams met back in round 2, they came up with 98 against New Zealand, winning that one 98-85. This has been impressive from them, rattling up good numbers and going to come up with their biggest win of the year. That is all she wrote for Adelaide and New Zealand in NBL22, and it's the 36ers who claimed the win, their 10th victory of the season, and they finished here with their biggest win of the year as well. Adelaide 93 has defeated New Zealand 60.
Nice way to finish the season for the 36ers. They've had some good wins in the last little stretch. Disappointing earlier this round, losing that big lead against Southeast Melbourne, but bounced back, took care of business, and way to finish the season on a high. Well done, CJ Bruton. First season as an NBL head coach in the books, and chance to build bigger and brighter things for here from Adelaide, and a rough way to finish up for the Breakers. 10 straight losses to finish what has been a really, really difficult season.
It has been. More importantly, though, you know what they're going to do? They're going to get on this plane and they're going to get home. They're going to see their families, friends, and people they haven't seen in over a year. And I'm sort of feeling good about them. I mean, I'd love to see that. Love to see those guys get off the plane and hug their families, because that's what it's all about.
So Adelaide with a 33-point win to sign off, and they win 3 of their last 4 games of the season, winning in Perth by 12, in Sydney by 8, losing after leading by 16 in the last quarter against the Phoenix on Friday night by 3. And here, as I mentioned, their biggest win of the year, a 33-point success for them, and they'll be happy with that. And we'll get some reaction courtside in just a moment with our Foot Locker player of the game. And standing by, Sunday Detch, who we spoke to at halftime. Congratulations, Sunday. That's a nice way to finish the season.
Yeah, appreciate it, Case. You know, obviously not the season we wanted, but always good to finish on a high note.
Sunday, what do you make of the way you guys finished things up in that second half? As Case said, we spoke to you at halftime, but geez, in that third term, you guys went on with it. Yeah, look, we're pretty frustrated. We didn't close out a couple of nights ago, so big emphasis at half-time just to come out the right way and keep executing and doing the little things.
Sunday, I love the way CJ holds everyone accountable. You guys have you have a lot of respect for CJ. We can tell the way you guys play hard. Did he do a good job the first year? Do you think he did a good job?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, he had so much things thrown at him and a lot of adversity, but, you know, he took it in stride. And as you guys know, CJ always comes in with a smile, makes it a fun environment to be around. And, you know, I think a big learning experience for everyone at the club. Sunday, season high 15 points for Mojave King. Had a big second half there. Was that fun to watch? Yeah, it was awesome. You know, Mo, all the guys getting at the end there, like, showing what we worked on once again. Obviously got a few dunks, which we've been egging him to do all season long, but no, it was good. Really happy for Mo.
And biggest win of the season for the Adelaide 36ers, biggest win in about 5 years, in fact, Sunday. So certainly something to build on there, particularly when you look at the success you had in Perth and Sydney and probably should have had on Friday night. So for CJ getting a full pre-season now and you guys getting together, it looks bright for the future. Do you have plans at this stage in terms of the 36ers next season?
What was that question again, sorry?
Will you be with the 36ers next season?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we're just going through the process at the moment, but really excited with what we're building here and, you know, add a few new pieces and get the job going pre-season.
And you're going to Otago to play in the New Zealand Basketball League, I understand, in the off-season as well?
No, Case, come on, mate. I'm going to Christchurch. Going with the Rams.
Going with the Rams?
Yeah.
What about the North Adelaide Rockets? You won the title in NBL1 last season.
Yeah, look, trying to head overseas and get another chip over there in New Zealand.
All right, well played throughout the season and well done on being the Foot Locker player of the game. Enjoy the off-season. We look forward to seeing you starring in the NZBL.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Sunday Detch there, and did he turn it on early here today? He had 9 points in the opening quarter. That set the platform because the Breakers got out to an early lead and he steadied the ship.
Absolutely. I mentioned that again. He's a defensive player, but he got himself going early, and it seems like the last 4 or 5 weeks, CJ said to him, look, concentrate a little bit more on your offensive scoring, and he's been smart about it. You know, he's knocking down the three. He's got a turnaround jump shot here. He gets the offensive rebound. He puts it back. He's aggressive, and that's what you need.
It wasn't just the scoring either. 19 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals. Just really, really active. 25 minutes on the floor. And as you say, Case, he set the tone early doors and helped Adelaide get their biggest ever win over the New Zealand Breakers.
Yeah, they've broken some records here in this game, and their coach, CJ Bruton's been kind enough to give us some of his time. Congratulations, CJ, your first season in the books. That's a nice way to finish, not just today, but with those wins on the road in Perth and Sydney as well.
No, thanks, Case. No, definitely proud of our guys and the way we finished, even though it was a little setback. I was a little upset after the Phoenix game, and knowing that that was in our grasp, as we've had few games throughout the season, as most teams have had an opportunity to, but I'm very proud of the way that we closed and finished this one off.
CJ Leonard Copeland here. Look, I spoke about you holding all your players accountable, and for a first-year coach, says, you know, a lot of guys don't do that. What do you think? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's the nature of the game, I think, from the generation of where we played Copes and what's been asked of us to the kids of today. We all want to be elite. We want to see them be elite. The accountability, that personal relationship for them to understand that I'm not here to hurt their feelings. It's just a natural growth in life, in any part of the business world that you're in. But in the sport world, you know, every possession matters, no matter if you're on offense or defense, and even at practice. And you got to make the most of it. And for me, you still got to earn it. And as you saw today, Sunday Detch, you know, my guy, he earned it. And I think every day he's put forward. He's been through the mental toughness stage. There's the emotional component. There's, you know, the physicality. There's the IQ. There's a skill set. I can go on and on. But I think for where you got to get to, I think every young kid needs to understand that it's not just my social media, and not that they all believe in that, but what you do at a junior level, what you do at a senior level, what you do in New Zealand League, like, while it all adds up, what matters is right now.
Good. CJ, Liam Santamaria here. Congratulations. First season as an NBL head coach in the books, and a great way to finish off the year with those 3 wins. What was your favourite moment of your first season at the helm?
Favorite moment, if I'm being honest, is to walk in the locker room, actually just to walk on the court and see the boys train on day one. I mean, not everyone was healthy, but to be the head coach and at the helm, to see the bodies and everyone wanting to get better every single day from their injuries to what they were doing to do their recovery, to see my support staff working their butts off trying to get it done because I wasn't there at the start. And to see everyone contribute. So best moment has to be just arriving with the team and being there. I mean, throughout the season, you're going to have the highs and lows, and we discussed that early. And to see where we've been able to get to, you got to deal with a lot of things, adversity to COVID to, you know, injuries. It's just all part of the nature.
CJ, I'd looked there at one stage that a loose ball came your way and you let it fly, but the expression on your face suggested that it didn't hit the target. Don't tell me you've missed a 3, have you?
I've missed quite a few, Case, but hey, I've closed a lot of games too, Case. And with this suit jacket on, don't make me take it off, okay?
Don't make me take it off. Them's fighting with. We did see you share a nice moment there with Tom Abercrombie, of course. You have a great history, championship-winning history with the Breakers. How are they feeling at the moment? You know, do you get a sense of the toughness that they've had to put up with or go through for the last 2 seasons?
Get a sense, I think we all feel. We all feel it. We all know it. The hardest thing that any player or any club's had to go through, they've gone through it. Have they come out the other side? Who knows? Like, you know, that may take a couple more years to see the outcome of this from their end. But I'm proud of what they've done. I definitely, from our club, we appreciate what the NBL and New Zealand Breakers have done for our league as individual, as a team, and what they've had to sacrifice. It's something that I know that if I was on the other side, I probably wouldn't do it. I'll be with my family right now. And I love the game, Case. You already know that. So to know that I would have to leave and not go through what Scott Roth went through to do that, you wouldn't have seen me here.
Understand that completely, CJ. Just before we let you go, 10 wins this season. Last season you had 13. And, of course, that was an expanded 36-game season. Adelaide had 12 the year before that. Where do you set your sights now for next season? How many wins do you think will be acceptable, or what can you look forward to next season?
Case, you made a good point, but I wasn't here last year, and I don't care what happened the year before that, and I'm looking forward to our future. Clearly, I've got to keep building. We've got some great pieces here that are contracted, some that I've got to keep exploring, but every kid that plays for me deserves an opportunity to play in the NBL. That's what I will say. They've given, from where we were throughout the year, they are all dedicated to their craft, and I hope that, you know, no matter what happens, they will always be my family, but we will go and get better in the off-season so that next year we're not talking about how many wins, we're just talking about look where they're at now.
We'll look forward to wrapping up the season, the MVP dinner at Sky City Casino there on Friday night. Look forward to seeing you there. And congratulations on your first season in the NBL as a head coach.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. Good luck for the rest of the season.
CJ Bruton there, he knows what it's all about, doesn't he? He spoke very nicely about the New Zealand Breakers, and we all feel for them. We've mentioned that numerous times, but so tough. That's how tough it is that he would say, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, really well said by him. I mean, that's the reality. You know, these guys spending all that time away from their families. Some of these guys have young kids. Some of these guys have challenges that they need to be a part of back at home, and they haven't been in amongst it, trying to get the season happening over here. So I think, yeah, he represents there what we all feel, appreciation for what the Breakers have brought to the table this season and last.
Well, let's get a first-hand account because Peyton Seaver's been kind enough to wait and share some time with us as well. Peyton, this has been an interesting start to the NBL career of yours. How tough has it been being on the road this whole season?
Honestly, you know, coming into it, I didn't really understand the magnitude of it from what the guys experienced last year. And even coming in as an import, it was really tough. Not only from a basketball standpoint, not having fans, not, having a home, but just mentally it was really draining. And I feel for the guys that left their families in New Zealand 2 years in a row now. And but hats off to all of my teammates. They really sucked it up, stuck through, and we try to compete every night. Scores didn't show sometimes, but we honestly tried to play.
Peyton, you didn't have a great game tonight, but you played pretty good throughout the season. My question to you is, what's your plans for next year? You trying to come back to New Zealand, or are you looking elsewhere?
I would love, I would love to come back to New Zealand. I would love to come back to the NBL. It's been a fun year. I really got a chance to experience the league. It's been a fun league. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I grew a little bit as a player and, started learning the league. But I would love to come back to New Zealand. I would love to, really show the type of player that I'm capable of being. I felt like I really didn't show that much this year. And I would love to just, redeem myself in a sense and redeem what we went through this year.
Mate, you guys don't need to redeem anything. No. That's great to hear that you're keen to come back. We'd love to see you in the NBL again next season. But you guys, thank you. Really, that's what we've been trying to do today. Express our appreciation on behalf of the NBL community for what you and your team have done this season. Are you feeling that appreciation, the gratitude from everybody around the league?
Yeah, man. I've been listening to, what people have been saying. And, I really appreciate all the heartfelt wishes that, people have shown. They understand, a little bit of what we went through. Talking to a couple of players, they, feel for us. And, at the end of the day, we can't, hold our heads too much. But we appreciate the love. We thank everybody for the love and support they have shown us throughout the year. And hopefully next year it's a regular year.
And Peyton, I presume one of the disappointing things for you and your family, you're looking forward to spending some time in New Zealand. Given your Polynesian heritage and you haven't had that opportunity. Is that part of the reason why you'd want to come back and play for the Breakers again next year?
100%. Like you said, my Polynesian background, my family, I wanted to really get a chance to go out there and be in the community of New Zealand. I heard so much about it. I heard so much about the fans. And I wanted to embrace myself and learn more about the culture out there. And unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to experience that. But like I said, hopefully, we'll love to come back to New Zealand. We'll love to, embrace myself, get with the community and do some stuff out there. And play some good basketball.
Well, you played good at times. Average double figures, top 10 in the league in assists and steals, and hit more than 2 threes per game every night. You brought a lot to the table, and we really appreciate you being here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Good luck with what lies ahead. Let's hope it's back in this league next season.
Hey, thank you guys so much. Love you all. God bless.
Yeah, it's fantastic for Peyton Seaver to spend some time with us here post-game, and we've spoken about the sacrifices that the New Zealand Breakers have made, and we certainly say a big thank you to them.
There's Wetzel is destroying them. 4-second differential between game and shot clock. Will McDowell White. They've got to get something out. Bessol.
Oh my goodness.
A name for the future.
Yeah! Beautiful to watch. William McDowell White. Early momentum's going to be huge for the away team at home here. Been away from home for a long, long period of time now. But you've got to take your hat off for the Breakers. Stand and applaud. New Zealand Breakers haven't played at home all season, and yet for pride, they get up off the canvas and rip this one from the fire.
Decides to fire three of his own on the buzzer, gets it done. See the penetrating Jeng fires and all the bottom of the net for Usman Jeng. 18 now for him, a new career high.
Basson, here we go. Sacre bleu! Love it when he gets cooking. It's fun to watch. Oh. It's called. He's got it. Andrew Gaze. Sacre bleu! This man is on fire. Down the barrel. 14 straight for Basson. This is just one of the great shooting displays we've seen all season. The Perth Wildcats are copping the full force of Hugo Basson.
New Zealand hang on in the most remarkable fashion.
Wow.
What in the world have we witnessed tonight?
Goodness.
Well, the Adelaide 36ers have finished their campaign in NBL22 in style, and they were most impressive. A 33-point win over the New Zealand Breakers, who finished at the foot of the NBL ladder. Sunday Dech, our Foot Locker player of the game, and was a win that the Adelaide 36ers will lead the season with a nice taste in the mouth.
Yeah, always nice to set a record. In the last game of the season, the biggest ever win by Adelaide over the New Zealand Breakers, and they really dominated proceedings. Got off to a nice start, led by 5 at quarter time, really put the foot to the pedal after half time and ran away with things. And the Breakers never really able to get going at the off